and made of Moses. So the Exodus, as I said, it was at most the first who expelled them out of our land. That's the only documentation of any large-scale people expelled out of our land.
Brothers and sisters, let's go to Europeans' documentation on the Exodus to further validate this.
Palaces here, unlike Ramesses' statue, you can't actually find any archaeological evidence that the Exodus ever took place.
In a country where thousands upon thousands of documents have survived, that is very extraordinary. There's not a hint of Israel in Egypt in the ancient texts, nor of the biblical Exodus. In fact, the Exodus never took place in history as the Bible describes it.
In the 19th century, lots of English vicars used to come to the Sinai Desert to escape the English winter and to look for Moses and the traces of the Exodus. Most of them were only here a few days, of course, before they discovered there was just no way that 600,000 people could survive in this wilderness. There are other problems too. In a place where you can find traces of Bedouin encampments, just 2 or 3 people who stayed one night thousands of years ago, there was no trace of these 600,000 people. And that's the biggest number of people that have ever been here, apart from the 2 armies in the recent wars. Then there's another problem, the ancient Egyptian records. There's no record of the quarter of the population of the country ever getting up and leaving, either. Oh, well, say the experts, that's because ancient people generally get the numbers wrong. Let's fine it down. Instead of 600,000, let's call it 5,000. And let's say that the miraculous parting the Red Sea was actually caused by a volcanic explosion that somehow created this enormous tidal wave, and on you go with these explanations.
So showing the only Exodus when at most the first expelled these people out of our land. No Exodus whatsoever. In fact, European Ashkenazi Jews say it themselves. This is from Globe Mail, Toronto, Canada. Thursday, 18th February 1988. Evidence from the Sinai, biblical Exodus, a myth, archaeologists suggest. Evidence from the recent excavations in the Sinai Desert indicate there was no Exodus by the Jews from Egypt, and Israeli archaeologist says. Eliezer Orm, a Ben Gurion University professor, you can't get no more Ashkenazi Jewish than that, who from 1972 to 1982 oversaw the excavations of 80 sites in the Sinai Peninsula, land bridge that links to present-day Egypt and Israel, said his research indicate that Egypt controlled the area during the time when the Exodus generally supposed to have occurred around 1300 to 1275 BC. Showing right here, they're saying it themselves, the biblical Exodus was nothing but a myth in their own secret hierarchy of rabbi.